Nice view.
Yes
The
or
purpose
no?
of grouping class, what it is here also. So group by class, basically we're using guys here whenever you want to group the similar data. Okay, so particular
Yes,
similar
definitely.
data or similar
So when the
information, when
salaries
you
are
want
both
to
are the
make
B
it a separate
employee
groups, there you can
and
use
C
a group by
employee,
class.
the both
Okay,
employee
so
salaries
group
are
by class we are
same,
using
then
for
they're
what purpose
expecting
means
rank also same
grouping
rank we will expect it here. Okay, but what happened guys here? Okay, 70 to 72,
similar
the both B and C employees are having same
similar
salary. So I was given
data,
same rank number. That's fine.
similar data
Okay,
based
but
on
the next person
columns.
66.
Columns
So
wise,
as per this
okay, the
sequence of
columns wise,
ranking
whatever
numbers,
the
so
similar
next
data was
rank,
there,
how much we are
those
expecting
similar
here?
data will be grouping here. Okay, so that's
What is
what we
your
called
next
as a group by
sequence rank
class.
number in the
Okay,
order?
for example, let me come out and see your SQL Server Management Studio when we want to go for that.
Yes, it will be 3. Actually, we expected here. But rank function, what it will do, the next sequence rank number will be skip and giving number 4. It is going to be skip and giving number 4. So why, sir, it was skipping means here every duplicate of data. So when the data repetitions are happen, for every repetition of data, one number will be skipped by your rank function. Okay, so every duplicate of data, okay, every duplicate of data, then rank function, what it will do, the next number will be skip, okay, by your rank function.
So now guys here,
So next
suppose we can
66, it
see,
was having the 4,
come
and
to
the
the
next
table.
rank
Okay,
number is
so when
5,
you come back
and the
into
next rank
your
number is
table, you can
6.
see the EMP table.
So this is what the ranking nature we
So when
call.
I want to go for this
But
EMP
when come to
table,
dense underscore
okay,
rank,
now
okay,
can you see
so
in
it
this
is
job
also
column?
assigning the ranking
If your
numbers to
particular
each
column, you
row
can
and
check it
group
out
of
here.
rows wise.
Job
But the
column
thing
is
is
there.
what now guys
So
here,
in this job
this
column, guys,
function
here the
will
different
not
job people
skip
are
any
there.
rank
So
number,
clerk, salesman,
will not
managers,
skip
analyst,
rank
okay,
numbers.
and presidents are there.
So it was not
So the
skipping here,
total
then
number
as
of
usual, the
employees
rank
as per
numbers will be
this table,
allocating
we
for
have a
each and
14
every
employees are
employee
there.
as per the
And
salaries wise.
out of these 14 employees,
Okay,
okay,
let me
somebody is
see here
working as
one.
a
So
clerks,
first highest
somebody is
salary,
working as a
first rank,
salesman,
second
and
highest
somebody
salary,
working as a
second rank,
managers,
and this
and
person
somebody is
also
working
taking
as an
same.
analyst,
And here I
and
will
somebody
take a
is
third
working as a
highest salary,
president.
fourth
So
highest
now
salary,
here
fifth highest salary.
the different
Okay, now.
jobs we have it
So in
here,
these two
and
differences, rank and
including this
dense rank,
all
what it
jobs
was
people,
happened, the
how many are
the
there guys
rank
here? 14
problem is what
employees are
now? It
there
was
in this
having some
table.
drawback. What is the
Okay,
drawback
so
of
now
rank
my
function means?
requirement is what
It
now
was
from
skipping
this
the next
table, from this
sequence for
table, what
every
is our
duplicate data will
requirement
occur.
means. Okay,
So
I
the
want to
problem
write a
to
query
overcome
to
purpose, the people was
display,
introducing the next one is called as what now? Dense underscore rank.
number of employee.
Okay, dense underscore
Okay,
rank
number of
is
employees.
introduced by
So
people to
working,
avoid the problem
number of
of
employees
rank
working
function.
in each
Okay, now so
job.
these are the guys here. So
Okay,
row
so
underscore number
if the requirement
function,
is
it
very simple
doesn't
guys
assigning
here,
any ranking
so in
numbers.
my
It
table
just
the
assigning
total
as a
number
each
of
row
people,
wise
the
row
14
numbers are
employees are there,
generated here.
and these 14
Okay, but
employees are
whereas
working
come
in
to
different
rank and dense rank,
jobs.
these are used
Okay,
for
and what we
ranking
need to find
purpose,
out here
and these
means
two
I need to
functions will
find
be
out to display
allocating or
number
assigning
of
rank
employees
numbers to the
working in
employees or to
each
the each row
job.
wise or group of rows
So that
wise
means in
based on
each
the data
job
and
how
data
many number
verification
of
will be done.
employees are
But
working,
in this, what
that
is
I
the
want to know
differences
it,
between rank and dense rank means?
that I
The
want
rank
to
function will
know.
skip the
So
next
when I want
sequence
to
rank number
know
in the
how many
order
employees are
whenever
working
the
in
duplicate data
each
will be
job,
repeated.
so first of all, what we
But
want to
that
do guys
avoiding the
here,
problem, so
whatever the
dense
job
underscore
column is
rank will
there
be
here,
introduced by
in
people
this
to
job
avoid that
column,
kind
the
of
whatever the
problem,
different
whatever it
jobs
was
we have it
skipping,
here, that every
whatever it was
different
skip
job
your
it
next
should be
sequence
separate
members.
first of all.
Okay, so the
That means
problem to
the
overcome purpose,
clerk
the people
job,
was introducing
okay,
what
I
now?
need to
Dense
separate. Okay,
underscore rank
salesman
function.
I need to separate,
Okay, now
and
so these
managers
are
I
what
need to
now the
separate,
ranking functions working
analysts I need to
natures
separate,
in our
and
SQL
presidents are I
Server.
need to
Okay,
separate.
but these functions, whenever I
Okay,
want to use
but
guys
how
here,
these
we need to
data
go
can be
for, so
separated
one
here?
syntax was there
How I
that is
want to
called
separate the
as.
different types of data from this job column.
Okay,
Okay,
ranking
so
function
in this
means,
cases, so we need what now? Group
so
by.
ranking
So
function
now
mean
how it was going to be
over is
working
a
here means,
clause,
for
and here
example,
I will take
whatever the
it
group
now.
by was there.
So
So this
partition
group
by
by
clause,
class,
okay, and this partition by clause
so
I
I'm
have
using
applied
on
on
my
each
required
column. The
column,
column
on
name
which
you
column
have to give it.
data wise,
But here
based
partition by
on which
clause is
column
called as
data
an
wise
optional
you need to
clause we
do
called.
group here.
This is
You need
called
to
as a
do groupings.
optional clause
So
we called. That means these are not a mandatory here. And after that,
on
it
that
was having
column
the next
you
clause
have
is
to
added
apply.
by.
So
So
now
order
here
by
my
employee
requirement
means
is I need to
So
find out
order
number
by
of
and column
employees
name,
working in
and
each
it was
job I need
ASC
to find out.
ascending, desk DSC
Okay,
descending.
so in this case, what we want to do, guys, here, so the
So
group by
this is
class
what you
must and
have to
should be we
do.
need to
Okay,
apply
whenever
on
you want
job
to
column.
apply this.
So
So
when
when
we
we apply
apply
this
group by
ranking
clause
functions in
on
my
your particular
database bodies
column, so
to
what it was
generate
happening,
to
guys?
assign your ranking
So what
numbers,
it was
then
happening
this
means,
statement should be
so in
used,
that job
guys.
column,
Okay,
whatever the different
let me
types
come
of
out and
data
see.
was there here,
So
that every
here,
different
what I
types of
said,
data will be separating here.
whatever the partition by clause was
That every
there,
different types of
so
data will
this
be
clause is called
separated
as
here.
a
For
optional
example, let me
default,
see,
so
guys,
it's
here.
not
So
mandatory.
come to the
But when
first
you
one is
have to go
clerk is
for
there.
order by
So clerk is a
clause,
one different
okay, when
type
you go
of
for order by
job
class, so
that
this
I
is
need
a
to separate.
mandatory clause.
Like a salesman's are separated,
Okay,
managers are
this is
separated, analysts
mandatory
and
clause.
presidents. So
So
that
these are the
means
two things.
when we
That means
apply
this is
group by
optional.
on
Either you
particular
can use
column,
or you
then
don't
in
want to
this
use,
column,
it's nothing
whatever the
problem.
different types of data was there, that every different types of data will be separating
But
first
order
of
by class.
all. For example, how it was separated here. For example, clerk, okay, is a separating here. Next, the salesman is a one separate group will be forming. Okay, next we have used here president. Okay, and next we have to take manager. Okay, and the next we have to take here analyst. So the total, the different jobs, whatever it was there here, the total different jobs will be separating like this. Okay, now, and after separated, what it was going to do, whatever the clerk is a one separate group, salesman is one separate group, president is a one separate group, managers is one separate group, and analyst is one separate group. So now in this, after that, whatever the similarities are there, the similar information, the similar data, whatever it was there, every similar data will be keeping under that particular and the corresponding groups. Okay, now you can see and tell me in my table, guys, here, the clerk is there here job. But in this clerk similarity of data, so how many times clerk was there, guys, here? How many times clerks are there? The four people, the four employees are working under the clerk job. So now these clerks will be taking out, okay, it will be separating as a groups now. So now let me come how it was making here. So it was separated now, the clerk and clerk and clerk. Okay, now this is separated here. In the same pattern, then we come to salesmen are there. In salesmen, so how many salesmen here? We have it here. So if you see, again, there are four salesmen are there here. Again, the four salesmen will be separating here. So now I will say it here, the salesman, and now salesman, and now salesman. So salesmen will be separating a group. In the same to same, when come to president, so how many presidents we have it here? How many presidents we have it here, guys? Only one president. Okay, so we have only one president. Okay, so now that one president will be separated, separate as a group. Next, come to the manager group, comes to check out here in the manager side. How many people are there in the manager side? So three people we have here. So now I just take it now. So three people, okay, managers. And come out and see analyst. How many people are there in the analyst people? Yeah, it was having here two people are there in the analyst category. So now once you apply your group by, what it will do, sir? So internally, when we apply group by on particular column, what it was going to happen means in that column, every separate and every different type of data will be separating here. Okay, now it will be separating every different type of data, like a clerk data separated, salesman data separated, presidents, managers, and analysts. So this is the group by what it will do it. Okay, so it will be what it will do it here. So this is the point. Okay, the group by class will be performed. Okay, now, right. But my requirement is what now, guys, here. I want to display the number of employee working in each job. So your job wise, we separating groups, clerk group, salesman, president, manager, and analyst.
But I want it what now guys here? I want it your number of employees. So when you want to find out the number of employees, okay, so is there any function? We have it guys here, the previously we discussed. Okay, is there any function is there to finding number of okay values in a table? Okay, is there any function is there? Come on guys. To finding number of employees, number of values, number of rows in a table. Okay, which one is there? Yes. So we have a count function. We have a which function? Count function. So count function is one of the function. Okay. So that function is what now guys here count function. And this is already we said, this is called as a grouping function, or else we can say aggregative function also we can say. So my requirement is to display number of employees. So when we want to display number of employees, then we should use a what? A count function here. So this count function, what it was going to be do, now this count function will be executing on your group of clerk. And here how many clerks are there in this group? The total count will be show 4. And later this count function is executing on salesman and counting every name of this and saying 4. And this count function is executing on president and it was saying 1. And the count function is going to be executing on manager and it was telling us 3. And the count function is going to be executing on analyst and it was telling 2. So that means, so your group by class is only for grouping your data, only for grouping your data. But on that group of data, on that group of data, if you need to do some calculation, if I need to do some calculation on each group of data, then we need to use a group by functions. That means a grouping functions or aggregative function. So in this aggregative function, one of the function is called as what now? Count function we are going to be using guys. Okay now. So this is what it was going to be happen. So now finally, I achieved my requirement here, the number of clerks. So how many people are there in the clerk category means, yes, I can find out in the clerks are 4 clerks are there. In the same to same, when I want to find out in the salesman, the 4 people are there in the salesman. If I want to find out in my president, so how many presidents means? So 1 president. If I find out in manager, how many managers means? 3 managers. If I want to find out in analyst, so there is 2 analysts. So finally, whatever the question I'm asking to you, that was we okay achieved here. Okay now. So that means what do you understand, guys here? So group by just for grouping similar data based on column or columns. Okay now. But here what happened? Okay, when we use group by, okay, when we use group by, we should use a grouping functions also. Okay, so this is also a very important point. So when we use group by, when we use group by, okay, then we should use, then should use we should use a grouping functions. Okay, grouping functions. Okay, or else this grouping functions even we called as what now? Aggregative functions also we can say. Aggregative function compulsory we should use aggregative functions. Those are we called as a, like a count function, like we have a sum function, like we have an average function, like we have a min function, like we have a max functions. Okay, for what purpose? To get the final result, to get final result. So without grouping functions, without aggregative functions, we will not get a final result. So when you want to get a final results, compulsory these functions are compulsory we should use along with my group by. Okay now, along with my group by, this is mandatory here. If I'm not using these functions, then I will not get my final result, or I will not get my result. Okay now, so this is what we have to do it. And what is the syntax of this means? So this command is also guys here I'm using on only select command. So I was given here select and I'm passing here the column name 1 comma column name 2 comma and so on, and later I will take it here
So aggregative function name one, comma, and so on. Okay, from I want to send my table name. And after that, so use group by and send your columns. The column name one, comma, and column name two, okay, comma, and so on. You know, so this is the syntax of group by, how to use in my select command. And this group by is also working on select command only, so we can't use on any other commands in databases. Okay now, so this is the syntax and this is the working nature. So let me see whatever I was asked you here, the practically how to write this query to finding the number of employees in each job. Okay, let me come and see. So now here I'm writing here the select a star, and now I have to use here I want to use here group by, okay, and the column is for example which column wise I need to find out means a job column wise, okay. So that means based on which column wise you need to do your grouping operation, okay, that column must and should be given. So here my column is what now, job column. Okay, and here very important point is what sir means here, carefully observe. So guys, here tell me, so select star from EMP group by job. Tell me in the select query, I'm using star. Star means what it mean by star? Come on guys, what it mean by star? Yes, the star is nothing but all columns. All columns means how many columns are there in my table? Just count how many columns are there. Okay, right. So total 8 columns we have it in this table. But guys, here observe, here are you selected, the columns are 8, but you did your group by on which column? Yes, it is a job column. So that means guys, here carefully observe. So we are doing the grouping operation on job column, but are you selected here list of columns? So whenever you want to go for this, like, okay, what it was happened to executed here, it was showing error. And what it was telling that column emp.emp number is invalid in the select list because of it is not contained either aggregative function or group by class. So the problem is what now guys, here only the problem is here. So which on which column you applied group by, okay now. So that column is job, but are you selected here all? So that's why what it was happened, your selected columns, okay, 8, and your grouping column is 1. So selected columns 8 and grouping column is 1. So number of selected columns and number of grouping columns are not matching, not matching here. So that's why it was showing error. That's why it was showing error. So it is not done. And next one, what I'm going to do, suppose, okay, sir, that fine, I'm taking e name. Suppose here in place of star, I was selected one column. That column is what now? E name. So now here I selected ename column and a single column I selected from my EMP table and group by job. So your grouping column is only single column and selected column is also single column. So the both columns are single, but even though still it is not accepting your query. Even though still it is not accepting your query, it was showing error again. Okay now. So why sir it was showing error again? It means that the most important point when you're working with a group by clause, okay, the blindly remember. So what we want to do, group by clause on which column you applied here. Group by clause on which column you applied here, same column should be selected. Same column should be selected, guys. It's a blindly remember. It's a blindly remember because other than grouping column, if you use and select any other column,
then your group by is not perform. Then your group by is not perform. Okay, no? So that is one blindly statement, blind statement you can remember. So on which column we did grouping operation or group by? Okay, same column should be select guys here. Other than group by column, if you selected any other column, then it will not accept it. Okay, then it will not accept it. So that's why I'm getting error. But now what I did, my select column and grouping column both are same, and then see what it was happening here. Yes. So in my table, the total number of rows are 14. Okay, but 14 rows data, how many groups are forming here? Come on, guys. 14 rows data is forming how many groups? 5 groups. But actually in my table, if you want to see guys here in my EMP table, the total number of rows, in this table, we have a 14 rows. We have a 14 rows. But here we have to convert. That means it is grouping how many? 5 rows. So my table is having 14 rows, but it was grouping 5 rows. That means the data is successfully grouped here. So, but here data is grouped, that's fine. But my requirement is what now guys here to finding number of employees I wanted. But tell me guys here I'm using group by clause, okay, on my particular column. But is there any counting people are showing here? Come on guys. Yes. So now here, you're just a grouping, but I'm not using any aggregative function. I'm not using any grouping function here. I just applied group by. So that means what you understand guys here, group by is only for grouping your data. That's it. Okay. But group by is doesn't perform any calculation. Group by it doesn't perform any calculation. Understand now? So group by it doesn't perform any calculation, just grouping your data. But now I need a calculation part. What is the calculation? Number of employees. So then you have to use the job and you have to say the count of star. You can use it now. So when I'm using count of star in each group of data, so whatever the count is there, the count will be counting here when I'm using count of star and to executing now and see it was giving analyst, 2 people are there. In clerk, 4 employees are there. In managers, 3. In president, 1 and salesmen, 4. So that means so this is called a counting of people. So now you can give it here. This is okay. So I can say it's a number of employee. So I'm showing as what now is the number of employee. Okay, so number of employee is called alias name. So I was given for our understanding here. So now we can see. So in analyst, number of employee 2, clerk 4, managers 3, president 1, and salesmen 4. Okay, so this is what count function advantage here. So that's why when I'm using group by to get my final result, then compulsory we should use a grouping function. Compulsory we should use a grouping function. Understand the point now? Right. So now this is what it was happening. And now in the even though, for example, suppose if I am going to using guys here, okay, in place of count function, suppose you can see, okay, sir, somebody's asking, sir, in place of star, can I use a job column? Suppose if I'm using the job column, so what it was happening, you can see to executing this one and see same output you will be getting now. Okay, so that means you can use a star, otherwise you can use a job also, nothing problem. Okay, now, so this is what we called as guys here to finding number of employees in each job. Okay, this example, the output will be getting like this. Okay, right. So this is what we called as guys here the finding number of people. Okay, now, right. So now same as now I'm going to take in here. Okay, so all functions in one example, we will take it here. Okay, so now I just go here to finding all the things here. Let you find, for example, another example I will take here, department number wise, I need to find out here. So in department number wise, the first of all, I need to find your number of people that I can say, okay, number of employee, so that I need to find out here. And later we can go to use sum function, sum of salary. So I want to show as a total salary of employees. Okay. And later I want to find out your average of salary. Then I can show as a ABC underscore sal. Next, I need to find out the mean of salary, and I will show as a what is your mean salary in this department. Okay, in particular department. And next I'm using max of sal, and I will show as a max of, okay, max underscore salary from this. And from, okay, EMP table, now I'm using here, okay, so group by on your department number column. So all functions I was given in this one example query. Okay, now, so now you can go to check out here to execute now. Okay, find to execute. So all are coming to us. So in department number 10, the number of the number of employees are 3. And this department number 10, total salary is 8,750. Average is 2,196, and min salary 1,300, and max salary 5,000. In department number 20, number of employees are 5, and their total salary 10,875, average 217.0, and min salary 8, max salary 3,000. And then department number 30, number of employees are 6, and total is 9,400, and average is 1,566, min salary 950, and max salary 2,850. So like this at a time, this all functions you can use it on your, okay, along with your group by class. Okay, so like I was given, okay, different examples in my documentation for your practicing purpose. Okay, now, right, like you can use it. This is grouping advantage guys here and grouping class usage. Okay, and the next class is called as what now? Having class. So having class, okay, how it was working means, here carefully observe. Having class is going to be using guys here. It is also used for to filtering, okay, filtering rows after group by, okay, after grouping data in a table. Okay, now after grouping data in table. But can you see guys here the same kind of the statement, even though we discussed it, okay, on which class here? Where class. Can you remember? So in where class also we are using filtering rows, but this where class we are using filtering rows for what purpose? Before grouping data in table. So before grouping data, whenever you want to do some condition and whenever you want to do some filtering operation, then you can use a where class. Okay, now, but after grouping, when you want to add your condition, write your condition, or filter your rows after grouping the data, then you can use a having clause. Okay, now, and your where class I can use, okay, under the which commands I can use, it means I can use select, update, and delete commands I can use. The where class can be used in these cases. Okay, now, but whereas come to when you come to your having class is not like that. It always working with the select command. Okay, it working on, it is work on which command here? Select command only. Okay, so but I can't use having, okay, in my update and delete commands, we can't use it. Okay, now, and later on this having when we should use means compulsory group by. So that means having is always work with, is always, is always, okay, work
with the is always work with the group by is always work with the group by class. Okay, only. So without the group by class, we can't use having. Without group by class, we can't use having, but without group by class, we can use a where condition. So where condition is possible without group by because it is a before grouping I said. So before grouping means no need here group by class. But here having means what I said, having is completely after grouping we said. So compulsory group by is needed. Okay, now, right. And that's why when you see the syntax also, when having syntax also, you can see guys here, let me find out and check the syntax. And after group by, see after group by, then you have to use your having condition. Then you have to use having filtering condition. Now you have to give it a filtering conditions. Okay, now, so this is what we call as guys, you are having. So now let you see one example on this. Okay, so write a query to display jobs. Okay, to display jobs. In which job? Okay, in which job, the number of employee, in which job, the number of employee is more than three. In which job, the number of employees, okay, the employee is more than three. Okay, now, so if I'm going to ask this, okay, number of employees are more than three. Okay, so now this is my requirement, guys. Here, I want to know it. I want to know the jobs in which job number of employees are more than three. So now here, this is my requirement, guys. Here. So first of all, we want to find out, okay, jobs in which job number of employees are more than three. First of all, what we want to do, guys, here, I want to first find out all jobs and all jobs wise number of people I need to find out. All jobs wise the number of number of employees I need to find out. But all jobs wise, if I want to find out number of employee, compulsory what I said here just now I was explained here. So write a query to display number of employees working in each job. So this is our requirement, guys. Okay, now, so as usual, this requirement I have to take in my example that you see. Okay, now, so now I'm going to take in here. So in this case, can you observe? So what it was happening, this is going to be showing as all employees number of okay, all jobs wise number of employees are showing us. All jobs wise number of employees are showing us. Okay, and let you tell me, so which jobs you wanted, guys, here? Which jobs I want to finalize? In which jobs number of people more than, okay, three people are there. In which jobs number of employees are more than three people are there. Okay, now, so more than three people employees, in which jobs we have it, guys, here? One is clerk and one is salesman. So clerk and salesman, these are the two jobs people, okay, having more than, okay, three employees here. So then what I want to use, guys, here after group by, this is already done group by and giving some result. So on this group by result, now I want to use a filtering condition. On this group by, now I want to use a filtering condition. So when I was using filtering condition, suppose are using where class, what it was happening, you can see where count of star is greater than 3. Where count of star is greater than 3. But what I said, guys, here, where class is not supported after group by. Because where class is always supported before group by, not after group by. Okay. So, but here I'm using where class. When I'm using where class, guys, here, before group by I'm using or after group by I'm using. Now you can see, guys, here I'm using your where class after group by. But what it was happened when I'm using this after group by to executing this. Okay, let me see to execute this entire the query. Okay, I'm executing now. Okay,
See, it was showing incorrect syntax near the keyword is where. Incorrect syntax, the keyword is where. So that means this is not allowed. So after group by, where clause cannot be used. Okay, now it's a very important point. Okay, so that's why it is not happening. It was showing error. It was showing error. But in place of this where class, can I use here? Okay, can I use a having means? Yes, you can. Yes, you can use a having. So now I'm using having and to execute this, what it was happening, you can see, now I'm just executing this one. Okay, yes. Now you can see you people are got it. You people are, you got it here. Okay, now, so this is the having class when I want to use means after group by only we can use. After group by, do you want to perform any filtering here? So there compulsory having is required. Their compulsory having is required. Okay, after grouping, if you want to do filter, if you want to do filter, understand now? So this is what we called. Like in the same to same, you can use this. Okay, another example. Okay, first of all, suppose I need to find out your department numbers wise. Sum of salaries I need to find out. Okay, from EMP, then you can go to use a group by on department number. Okay, up to here you can see the number of, that means I'm finding here sum of salary. Okay, now so now I'm going to execute this one. What happened? Departments number wise sum of salaries are there. But now I'm asking in which department number sum of salary is less than 10,000. In which department number the sum of salary is less than 10,000. Which departments are, guys? Come on, guys. Yes, 10 and 20. Sorry, 10 and 30. So now here also I need to use my having condition. Okay, and to apply here the sum of salary which is less than 10,000 I was given. So when I was given this and executed here, let you see, guys, what happened. Okay, I'm executing now and see. So 10 and 30, these total salaries are having less than 10,000. Okay, now, so this is a having condition. Okay, we can use after. Okay, after if you want to group by. Okay, after group by, if I want to give some conditions, then you can use a having clause. Okay, now, so this is grouping and having. Okay, so whatever we said here. So where top order group by havings. So these are the 5 clauses we discussed. And guys, you're suppose you people are asking, so can I use this all 5 clauses in one query? In one query, can I use this all 5 clauses here? Okay, now, so is it possible or not? If it is possible, how I can use it? Okay, so what it was going to say, here observe. So all clauses in one single query, it is observed. All clauses in in a single select statement. Okay, now in single select statement. So how we can? Okay, so the first of all we need to give it your syntax. So what is my syntax? Let you observe. Select and should give it your column name, comma, and so on, comma, aggregative functions, aggregative function name. Okay, function name one, comma, and so on. Okay, so from table name. Okay, and after the table name, then you have to see one by one. I will give it now. Okay, so the first one is called as here where condition. So you can use your where filtering condition. Okay, after
after where I can give it here group by. So column name 1, column name 2, and so on. After group by, so I can give it so what is now having. So having, you can see filtering, okay, condition, and after that having, then you can use order by. Okay, then you can use order by and pass it here the order by. Okay, column name, give it your ASC or desk DSC. Okay, so comma and so on. So this is my final syntax test here. And finally, if you want to use a top class, you can use a top class and top of n here. So now, can you see this syntax guys here? So where group by, having, order by, and top classes. So these all classes I'm using in one single query statement. Okay, now, so this is what we call as a syntax guys. Okay, now, but how to work? And can you see guys here in my syntax only, you can understand that. In my syntax only, you can understand that where condition, okay, where filtering condition, when I was applied in the syntax before grouping or after grouping guys. By seeing of the syntax, you just tell me, is it before grouping or after grouping? Yes, it's a before grouping. Where after grouping, which I'm using, after grouping, what I'm using here? Yes, having. So before grouping, where, after grouping, having. Okay, now that is the difference here. Okay, so guys, here this is the syntax. But on this syntax, okay, I will show you example how it does work. Okay, but that example I will show you on Monday session, guys. Okay, so Monday I will show you the example on this all classes, and later roll up and cube classes also we discuss. So Monday maximum your classes will be okay completed. Okay, now right guys. So I stop it here and we'll continue Monday, and I will interact with you guys on Monday only. Okay, now up to that you have to practice, and having doubts I will discuss with you on Monday. Okay, right guys. So thank you so much guys.